This illustration deals with selecting the largest motor. Now notice in the illustration, we're figuring the VA for the service conductors in accordance to 220.50 as well as 230.42A1. Now we select this largest motor from a list of motors on page 1-13 of the Stallcup's Test Taking Making Easy workbook. Notice this motor could be card and plug connected or hardwired, but we would review sections 430.109F and 430.102B depending on if is it card and plug connected and how we would provide a disconnecting means and so forth. Now the pump motor is rated at 5 horsepower, 230 volt, single phase. The largest motor is calculated at 430.24 when 2 or more motors are on a feeder or on service conductors. Now notice the question is, what is the VA load for a 2 horsepower, 230 volt, single phase motor that is to be used for the largest motor in the calculation? Now, we know that 430.6A1 says we would use the table currents to get the full load current for single phase to 3-phase motors. So for single phase motors, it's 430, table 430.248. For 3-phase motors, it's table 430.250. So in the boxed in information, the question is, what is the VA load for a 5 horsepower, 230 volt, single phase motor being used as the largest motor? So step 1, we apply table 430.248 by taking the 5 horsepower motor at 230 volts and supplied by single phase voltage. 5 horsepower would be equal to 28 amps when you review that table and pick up the 230 volt column and select the 28 amps for a 5 horsepower motor. Step 2, we're applying 220.50, and if it's a single motor on a single branch circuit, it's 430.22. But if there's 2 or more motors on a service or a feeder circuit, it's 430.24. So we would take 28 amps in this example times 25%, which would equal 7 amps. Step 3, we take the 7 amps times 240 volts, the voltage supplied, equals 1,680 VA. Now notice you could also take the 28 amps just at 125% and all other motors at 100%, or take all the motors at 100% and apply the 25% that we're applying in step 2. So the solution and answer in this particular problem, the motor load being considered the largest is 1,680 VA. And that's what our figure 1-16B is illustrating.